Hi guys, if you don't know who I am, I'm Babette. I run entry level. You've probably seen me before. Blah 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 blah. I'm in the industry, yada yada yada. And we're joined by Brody Armstrong, who's also in the industry.
Hi,
Wow.
I sure am.
We're joined by, what do you go by? Glowbox co-founder? Is that the main one?
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. So that works. Whatever you wanna lead with, I'm fine with whatever.
Yeah, co-founder, producer, marketer. He does a bunch of stuff. He's done a bunch of stuff through Glowbox. We met at Toronto XP, I want to say.
Yeah, XP Toronto. I think last year, because we did meet the match. I was like, "Oh, your entry level sounds awesome. Tell me more."
Oh yeah. We met on Meet to Match, which is only a little bit cringe. Um,
Does sound like a
but
cringe app when you don't know
yeah,
how the
it's like,
social
oh, we
mixtures
met at
work.
a we met in a business meeting, but we're both Meet to Match is what XP uses to book meetings with people during their events. So like if you
Yeah,
have a specific like level of pass, they let you into these like event planning things.
yeah, it's like business to business, like requesting meetings specifically. Is
Yeah,
Yeah, it's pretty handy actually. It was so nice to use that
it
event.
is. It is. I really do like having it just because like some people are so busy
Yeah.
that it's just easier to get a hold of them that way. But
Yeah, the nice thing too, it shows you everyone that's gonna be at the event that's also at like the business pass level. So you can like
yeah.
plan like, oh, this person's from this studio, and you can memorize like their face and name and be like, if I see them, I'm gonna say hi and like track them down. Otherwise, you gotta
Yeah,
go in blind.
that's true. I did like seeing like people link their websites on it.
Hmm.
And I was like, oh, okay, I can actually see like exactly what you guys do. Because
Yeah,
I know it's
super
like
handy.
kind of everywhere. Yeah, if you ever get a chance to, I definitely recommend it. It's pretty cool. Yeah, most of these events are just trying to like find people in a sea of other
It
people.
is. Yeah. At least it's not like sales calls. That's way more stalkerish behavior. It's fucked up.
God, that's true. That's true. I never had to do sales calls. No, I can at least like kind of seem normal in business to
Yeah,
business events, which
it's
is
being
huge.
prepared.
It always feels like cold calling for LinkedIn when you have to connect.
Mm.
I'm like, hi,
Yeah,
please accept my friend request. Yeah.
I never connect with people I haven't met in person because I can't do like
Mm,
a hey, it's nice chatting you. I like to do one of those messages. LinkedIn's just a follow up, not like my
yeah.
main like way of connecting, but it's a bit of a crutch too.
That's good though, because then you kind of like know everyone that you're like directly connected to. I'm
Yeah.
like kind of face blind, so
Oh yeah.
I suffer greatly for these kind of things. Brody and I didn't even
Yeah.
see each other at Migs until we saw each other right at the start and then didn't
Yeah.
see each other until the very end.
Yeah, I'm surprised I didn't even like spot you at all when we were walking around the place
I
those whole two
know.
days somehow. Like no idea
I
how.
know. I had the same problem with Daniel, who you met at the end there too. I
Hmm.
didn't see him at all. We were supposed to take a picture for socials and we could not find each other to save our lives. But
Yeah.
it's a great venue. I recommend if folks are ever in Canada. I think Migs is like the big one here.
Yeah. I
Highly
think XP is
recommend.
a little more worth it. A little cheaper.
Yes.
And it's a little more like personable. Migs felt a little more business to business and like expensive, so definitely do Toronto if you can, but visit Montreal sometime.
Yeah. Migs is a little more, it's been around longer, so it's a little bit more developed. Like it's still funded by the same people, but Toronto, I think, is a new one for them. So it did
Yeah.
feel very like, very close.
Yeah.
I think there
Yeah,
was
it
a
is.
lot more like pitching, like indie based pitching there,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it
which is
was.
pretty
Because I think
cool.
Jason Lapierre saw Migs and he's like, oh, we
Mm.
should do this in Ontario, and then like got the wheels turning there, I think. I
I
forgot.
think so. Literally. Yeah, or the person in Toronto is doing I don't know her name, but she's like really going for like games weeks and stuff. So if you're ever in Toronto, we do have things here, I promise.
Tons of mixers.
Yeah, definitely recommend. But yeah, thank you for coming out, guys, and thank you to everyone on Twitch as well. If you're joining from LinkedIn, that is very cool. We are trying that out, so we're going to see how that goes. But don't listen to Amy. Don't go to Alberta. Alberta has nothing for you there. It is flat, mostly. We have oil there. But yeah. So Brody and I met each other in Toronto this year. Turns out we're both Canadian. Stone, our moderator, also joined us there, which was pretty cool. That was the first time meeting him in person. So that was awesome to see.
Yeah, it was fun.
And yeah, it was pretty. It was a good time. Do you want to give everybody a little bit of a personal introduction? What you do, how you do it?
Yeah, I can give a quick rundown. So, my name's Brody Armstrong from Ontario, Canada. Started my journey in the game industry in like 2016. I went straight out of high school and then discovered there's a game design program at like Brock University and Niagara College that just started. There were no previous cohorts. It literally just started that year. I was like, oh, that seems cool. So I went into that. Didn't really fall into any particular category, whether it's like 3D modeling or animation or whatever. The tools they were teaching were very outdated because it was like the program was developed in like 2012 and then didn't run until 2018 or something. So it was like years and years outdated. It was using like Autodesk and like 3ds Max for everything. Like character sculpting we were doing in 3ds Max for some reason.
Oh wow.
So super outdated. We're doing textures.
Wow.
We weren't using Substance or any of that. We're just using Photoshop to create tileables to like project on it. Like it was bad. It was
That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, so it wasn't good for the hard skills, and it was a lot of like kind of essays and thesis papers. It was a lot of like understanding teaching and the teachings of game design rather than like how to make games. Niagara College was better for that. But what I did come away with it was a good sense of how to organize projects and work with people to try and deliver a project. And that's why I ended up like more falling into during it. So I did that. And then we went up to graduation in 2020, and then a little thing happened called the pandemic, the fucking coronavirus.
That's crazy. I don't remember that, actually.
Yeah, so we were supposed to graduate, and then a month before is when the full shutdown happened. So like showing off our capstone game, going to level up, none of that happened. It was a really weird like pat on the back, you graduated, and then it was just like nothing because the whole world was in this weird state. And I squandered a good portion of the pandemic, as a lot of people did. Like, you know, you go through university and then you have, you know, you can't work, can't go anywhere, you're getting stimulus checks, you're like, okay, well, I'll just play games with my friends and like blow off steam and whatnot.
Classic move. Yeah.
And the game industry, it's hard to get in for like production or like management if you don't have any prior experience from other stuff. So I kind of shot myself in the foot with that one. So I eventually, after pandemic kind of simmered down, went into marketing for a bit. Hated working for like retailers and like luggage, or not luggage, like furniture. Like there's a furniture retailer in particular that was really bougie that was a client. So it was like $400-$500 wooden chairs. I was making flyers for them. I was like, this sucks.
Yikes.
Hate this. So I went back to school at TFS. They had like a short 1.5 year program that was all like hard skills, like the stuff we didn't learn. So like Substance, learning ZBrush, Unreal Engine, like all these things I wish we did. Graduated that. Industry, complete fucking dumpster fire because it's just mass layoffs suddenly. Nowhere's hiring, studios closing, so I'm like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? And then a little after trying to find uh, work or any of that, not really getting anywhere. I'm like, okay, well, if I
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
find work, I'll just make work. So I started trying to make my own studio, um, and pitch like projects to places that existed and see if they could like fund it or whatever. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and that eventually led to me starting Glowbox, which is the second studio I've tried to start, and it's going well so far. The first
Yeah,
one kind of fell apart, but we got like a project or two out, so it was still baby
that's
steps and
honestly
learning.
that's huge still. Yeah.
Yeah. And that one was actually a project for the same client we have now, which is like the child
Mm-hmm.
education, outdoor experience kind of thing. Um,
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So that's where we're at now, where I'm more focused on the studio and just kind of doing side gigs and like odd jobs in the industry just to kind of pay the bills, and then hopefully get that to grow and see where it lands.
Yeah. And what had you like choose like more of the producer side and the marketing side when you went from
Hmm.
like you like obviously you're a co-founder so you kind of have to do some of that, but
Yeah.
like why did you like narrow in on those kind of roles?
So producer is just what I ended up doing a lot in university, and it's something I really enjoy. Like one of the first things I
Okay,
did
yeah.
whenever we had group projects was just make the like Facebook group chat and like put out like the rubric and the outlines to be like, okay, this is what we need. This is like the stuff we need. Like who wants to do this, this, and this. And like it
Mm-mm.
took no effort at all to get like the foundations there. And everyone would be like, oh my God, thank you for doing this. Like I hate doing this stuff. I'm like, this is fine. I don't mind this. Um,
Yeah.
so I ended liking doing that. And I always enjoyed whenever I was in a job, like whenever I worked Tim Hortons when I started, and then eventually Subway and all this stuff. I was never
Classic.
content with just one job and one job only. I like to learn a job really well
I
and
get
then
it.
move on to the next thing. So I know two things. So like for Tim Hortons, I do, front of house, and then I would do the baker, and then I'd be running deliveries, and then I'd be supervisor at multiple stores. So I'm always like trying to climb. And I found with
Mm-hmm.
games, same thing. Like I've done a bit of 3D modeling, I've done VFX, I've done shaders, I've done animation, I've done sound. Like I've tried to do a little bit of everything just because I have a general
Yeah.
interest in so many fields. And it ties really well into doing production because I understand the work that goes into these different areas and the considerations you
Yeah.
need when planning these projects, that it just kind of made sense and it felt natural for me to kind of go into this role and have like this big idea and try and break it up into chunks so that we can actually like hit milestones and deliver something. So yeah, it just
Yeah, and
felt
I guess
natural.
like mm, I guess that like suits really well for like indie too to like have like your kind of hand in every pot, so to
Yeah,
speak.
multiple hats for sure. I'm not someone that can do one thing really well for the rest of my life, which is
Fair.
really what differs AAA from like indie. Like whether you get a job
Yes.
in one or the other, it's really whether you want to specialize or whether you want to have a bit more creative control and like get to do other things. There's a few other differences, but those are like two of the big considerations when you're trying to make a portfolio for one or the other.
Yes, that's what I've heard too. Like I've had people in AAA tell me like focus on one kind of like 3D modeling, for example, is a huge one where they want you
Hmm.
to focus like on one specific
Yeah.
kind of asset versus indie gigs I've gotten are like be able to do anything kind of thing.
Yeah, and it's you still want to get proficient with like a skill in particular,
Oh yeah.
but you don't have to get to an insane caliber as you do with AAA. Um, so it varies a lot. And then the marketing side of like me getting into that, I just always did like photography, film, a lot of things that kind of align with marketing. I just happened to get a
Yeah.
job through connections after school that was in a marketing agency. So it's just kind of been
Yeah.
something that's like stuck with me because I like presenting things in an appealing way to be like, hey, look at this really cool thing, whether it's a photo or a video or whatever. Um,
Mm-mm-mm.
so I've just kind of kept it for that aspect. And recently started learning how to actually market indie games since there's a whole other beast in consideration when it comes to
Yeah.
boosting your chances to succeed on Steam because it comes down to the amount of wish lists when you get to launch, and then after that, it comes down to the amount of revenue you bring in a short period of time after launch, and that
Yep.
dictates how Steam treats your product and how likely it'll like put it in front of people so they can see.
Yeah,
it's a lot.
Steam likes to have like everything ready to go right before launch. Like they've already determined where they're putting you almost.
Yeah, it's they have metrics they follow, so you have ways to tell if your game's gonna likely do really well or not.
Oh, okay.
But ultimately, it comes down to how good is the game. You can only market it so well, and then if people play it and they're like, "This game
That's true.
sucks," it's not gonna go anywhere. So it
Yeah.
is. But on the flip side, there are tons of games that have amazing reviews, like high 90s,
Yeah.
hundreds, but they only have like 160 to few hundred reviews, and then they never get any more because they can be gems, but they just never blew up or they don't get the visibility they deserve. So it's a
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
so it's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. How do you find marketing in like the indie space? Like overall, do you have anything that like surprised you or you were like, "Oh wow, this is crazy." Like completely different sort of thing.
Um, I say there's a lot of similarities. Um,
Mm-mm.
with marketing for like I market for a retailer right now. So a lot of it is just
Yeah,
kind of keeping up appearances so people know like, oh, this is a legit place. Because if you just have like dead socials, no nothing, people might think like, is this
that's true.
real? Um,
Money
but the one
laundering scam.
interesting,
Yeah.
yeah, the interesting thing I found about marketing indie games, at least from like the method I've been learning about, is that most of the time social media is not going to work at all, and you are going to
Okay.
get wish lists and traction from getting a demo out and constantly having it available at Steam events and showcases and stuff, because that's how people play it
That's
and
a
they
good
go, you know
point.
what,
Yeah.
this game's pretty fun, add it to the wish list. Because most games don't blow up on social, even the ones that do all right on social, they still don't get most of their wish lists from there. So you really need to test if the game does well on social like early on, because some can blow up. Like it's the one where you build castles. Everglade?
Yes,
No,
the one that didn't have like a what was it? Like tiny castle, something like that. It was like just the
Tiny
free
Glade.
build one,
Tiny
yeah?
Glade.
Yes.
Yes. So
Yes.
that's one that blew up. Like they were just showing like early work in progress of like the procedural tool and dragging it. Like it's black and white, no textures in engine, like nothing fancy.
Yes, I remember
Started
that.
blowing up. So they started using social media a bunch, and they were able to kind of coast off social media to get a bunch of wish lists. Yeah. Stone put it in the chat there.
That's it. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
this
yeah.
is one. So sometimes games can blow up on social. Like horror games do it a lot of the time because you have a cool horror trailer
Yep.
and then it just blows up when the game's not even made. The guy that made Donut County did that,
Yes.
where he just put out a teaser trailer. It got tons of wish lists. He hadn't even made the game. He literally just made the trailer to see if it would do well. Um,
Yeah, honestly, more and more like even No, I'm Not a Human. Like the demo
mm,
was small when
hmm
they released that, and it took them like another year to get it. But that traction alone was like all he needed, really. Oh well, I think it was
Yeah.
two guys, but all they needed.
So that's what I've learned about marketing it is like you can try social, and if it doesn't
Mm.
really take off, if it doesn't have that magic that like has posts go viral, you just fucking scrap
Yes.
social for the most part. You just have like loose weekly updates and that's it. And then it's just purely about events in the demo, which is kind of relieving
Mm-hmm.
because trying to go social media famous and understand the algorithm and the way it works sucks. I don't want to I don't want to deal with multiple platforms and understand their intricate like it's just such a
No, I
headache.
fully bully Stacy, SJ, and like the rest of the socials group because I was like, I
Yeah.
don't know how Instagram
Yeah.
works.
So it's nice to know that ultimately it comes down to how good the game is and just getting the demo into these events. It's kind of like a fresher breath air. You're focusing on the game. That's an interesting
Yeah.
thing I found for marketing games.
That's a great point, eh? Like I know a lot of people are really banked on this idea of like, oh, I need to go social media viral
Yeah.
because then I will get the wish list. But it's kind of the same idea of like YouTube views versus subscribers kind of thing, where it's like
Hmm.
just because they viewed it doesn't mean they're going to like click an external link and wish list
Yeah.
something.
Yeah,
But
exactly. It's and ultimately it just comes down to how if you're posting like releasing on Steam, how Steam showcases it. Because Steam is the one that holds the power, whether it's shown in like the new and upcoming, or the trending, or the front page, or like the little
true.
box that pops up when you open Steam. It all comes down to Steam, and Steam only cares how many wish lists you have before you've released, and then after you've released, how many people are buying and playing the game. And those are like the main two
Yes, like
things.
how fast people are buying is a huge one.
Yeah.
Like within the week,
Um,
within the day kind of thing.
Yeah, and there's a lot of examples of games blowing up without any social media marketing or any like presence. Um,
Yeah.
like the Megabonk is one, or Vampire
Yeah.
Survivors. These two games, I didn't know anything about them, and then suddenly everyone's like, "Oh, you got to play this."
Yeah. Yeah.
Val,
Honestly, they showed up out of nowhere.
yeah, Valheim, same thing. Like it did not have many
Yep.
views or like a lot of kind of build up. It just launched and then it was just skyrocketed. So you do not need
Yeah.
marketing to succeed. It just helps. But ultimately it comes down to the game, which is kind of nice as a game dev and not like a marketer first, you know?
Yeah. Creatively, it makes you feel like, I don't know. Personally, I feel kind of relieved because like I can make
Hmm.
assets, I can do this, but like, don't ask me how an algorithm works to save my life.
Yeah.
Kinda. Yeah. How do you find like pitching, demoing? Because I think you've done it a little bit, right? With in like kind of different environments.
Not as much yet actually. Like I've had to
Okay.
do pitching when I was in like the different school programs and stuff.
Mm,
And we had, I guess technically we had to do it recently for Futures Forward, because you need to propose a project that you want to take to
yeah.
market, and then they kind of evaluate like the likelihood of it succeeding, your market research, all that stuff. So we had to do it for
Yeah.
that, but we haven't had to do pitching for publishers yet, um,
Okay.
because that's a whole different ballpark, and we're not at
That
that
just sounds
stage just
scary.
yet. But it's something we'll have to do eventually.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I know it. Most of it comes down like I've watched the was it the pitch competitions that I know you've seen at XP and MIGS.
Yes.
They
Yep.
are
Yep.
super beneficial. MIGS not so much. MIGS they were already like done production. They're like, hey, we just want help with
That's what I
publishing or
heard. Yeah.
yeah, they weren't as good as XP. XP was better because it was like more pre-concept or pre-production and production, where it's like,
Yes.
here's our idea, here's some of our whip, and like here's all our research. And that was like, oh, okay, so that's how you like present research and stats. Um,
Yeah. Agreed.
yeah, so it's really a lot about, at least when it comes to pitching, it's like it's just selling yourself, making sure you like you propose the case of like, hey, there's a gap in the market and this product's gonna hit it. Um, here's like the market research of like similar titles, how much they cost, how long they took to make, what people said were good and bad about them, and why our product is going to capitalize on that. Um,
Mm-mm-mm.
and then it's I forget what the first two I even just said were. Anyway, most of the pitching is
Yeah,
just
that's happy.
here's the market, here's why we're able to do it, here's how it's going to make you money, and that's like mostly it, with a touch of kind
Yeah.
of selling them on the story and the vision of like, here's why we're like personally like invested in this. It's not just like purely for the money, like
Yes.
we play these games, we love these games, this is why we're doing it. um, it's an
True.
interesting
True.
beast.
Yeah.
It's
It's a crazy mix of like you have to show like how business professional you are, but at the
yeah.
same time feel like almost like a hometown hero kind of vibe when you go into indie
Hmm.
spaces for sure.
Yeah, and it fully depends on who you're pitching to too, because like
Yeah.
not every publisher is going to want any kind of game. They usually have like a select library of things they're comfortable with, or they have experience with shipping, so they know what to
Yep.
expect. And you need to make sure you kind of align with their interests, or you can like pitch why you fit those interests. Um, so it's it's like it's a whole other side that's like distracts from making the game because now you got to do this pitch and you got to find these publishers and you got to make a budget. Like it's just all the unfun stuff. Um,
Yep.
but it's important when you actually start, not even starting a studio, but when you kind of like have a studio and like try to keep it sustainable and like maintain it.
Mhm.
A lot of this is kind of like a consistent thing you have to keep doing,
Yes.
which sucks, but it is what it is.
Yeah, like you said, it's kind of like the beast of the industry is like if you're making an
Yeah,
indie studio, you gotta do it, but it's
yeah.
it's not
It
fun for me
costs,
personally necessarily.
yeah, it costs a lot of money to make games, so it's gonna take a long
Yes.
time until you don't need to borrow someone else's money to make those games. It's just kind of the hard truth.
Yes, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. And for future founder or yeah, future founders, can you give a little bit of a description of what that is for like non-Canadian folks?
Oh, Futures, yeah, Futures Forward is
Futures forward, yeah.
yeah, it's kind of like an accelerator workshop program run by the Interactive Ontario, which is a part of the government here that's focused on creating jobs and growing companies in Ontario, and this one particularly in the game industry. So you apply to them, they run it like I think once or twice a year. It's 8 weeks long. And they kind of just do weekly sessions to get all the business sense and stuff drilled into you and make you aware of. So it's like a week on budgeting, a week on project management, a week on legal considerations, like all the stuff you don't want to you don't want to know about, but you have to. They only take in like a handful of student, like I think right now it's like only 6, and it's pretty fierce to get into.
Yeah, it's
but
pretty small.
yeah, but we are fortunate to get into it. So we're doing that right now. So
Very cool.
it's been a lot on top of all the other things I'm currently doing, because it's my 2 jobs are also kind of like get crazy towards the holiday seasons, and then MIGs
Oh
and
God,
then
I
birthday
guess so.
stuff.
With like luggage for the one
Yeah.
being Jesus.
That, and we've been wrapping up our one of our first contracts at Glowbox.
Oh,
So
nice.
it's been a bunch of stuff just sandwiched
Exciting.
this month. Yeah.
God,
It's been good.
yeah, Christmas time is always either like the most busy time you will ever experience in your life, or it's dead.
Yeah.
Like
It's
no in between.
it's
Never in
usually
between.
usually busy for me, because like there's so many birthdays squished into November, and then a bunch in December, and then Christmas.
Yes.
So it's
Yeah,
crazy.
I got the same thing. It's like birthdays, Christmas, New Year's. Oh God, we're another year, and I have to start again. It's nuts. And
It's
congrats,
endless.
Michael, on free membership for 2 years. That's
Yeah,
huge.
congrats.
Yeah, I super recommend, like, if you are based in Canada, even if not, like, it's always good to kind of check out these websites to know what you're searching for. These are like really big if you're applying to like these massive grants. Like in Canada, it's called the Canadian Media Fund, is where a lot of indie studios go through. And if you don't have any like marketing, it's really hard because of how competitive it is.
Yeah, the grant writing is practically a full-time job for a lot of these. It's rough.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, but in Ontario, Interactive Ontario, highly worth looking into. They do like indie super boosts every month too, or every so often. I actually don't know the schedule, but those are really good. And then they got a ton of mixers and networking events constantly, so you can always meet people in the industry, hear about opportunities. It's good. It's a fun little community for sure.
Yeah, it's a cool time, and you get to meet new like other indie devs, which is always like a really cool time.
Yeah, that's good.
So totally recommend it, even if you're not Canadian based, but especially if you're Canadian based, to check it out. Yeah. So you're going through Future Founders with Glowbox, but you've done a couple products or projects in the past, and I know a lot of them were more not necessarily educational based, like school games, but like in the education field. And like how do you find that compared to more traditional game stuff?
So honestly, it's a unique challenge, but it's a lot of fun, because you have to refocus your goals to not make the most fun and entertaining game or try to push the envelope of what makes games fun. But a different goal of like, what am I delivering to the user, which when it's educational, it's usually to like educate them on something. It's like, okay, how can we use the tools and the workflows and the things we know and use those to help educate them on whatever that goal is. So it's been fun in that sense. And yeah, one of the ones we did, we're on our second one for a place called Heartland Forest, which is a kind of like a non-for-profit kind of outdoor area where they like run programming. They teach kids about animals, ecosystems, like the environment, all that stuff. And they have little like exhibits inside the building where it's like, here's our like night creatures, here's like what it looks like underneath the swamp or like a pond or something. So a lot of since they're non-for-profit, they usually just get funding from the Ontario government to create these exhibits and like run all this stuff, and they're constantly applying for grants. So we started just pitching to them to say, hey, here's like a project where it would be like a playable application in this exhibit, and this is how much it would cost if you're able to get funding from, the Ontario government or RBCs. They had something that was either tech for education or tech for environment. I forget.
Yeah.
So they've been including it with their grants, and then if they get it, they let us know how much, and then we make the project based on that. And yeah, it's kind of like it's beneficial for both parties, which is nice because like it feels good to kind of like make these things. It also boosts our portfolio. It's just kind of like a
Yeah.
win-win for us. It's not as like lucrative, but it's kind of the L we're taking since we're trying to grow the studio and make these connections rather than just try and purely make profit, because it's better to have some work than no work at all. So it's been good.
Yeah. And like you can't base everything off of like, oh, we're gonna get this one hit mega blockbuster. And
Yeah, exactly. So it's just kind of like doing what we can still afford, but like not trying to like be overly profitable. And put that money back into the company so eventually we can start funding larger projects, because until we get some capital, you're kind of limited to how much time you can dedicate or like volunteer, which is tough.
yes, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, do you have advice for any kind of indie studios that are in that like weird limbo section where it's like, oh, we don't have any
Mm.
money, we're doing this a lot of pro bono?
Yeah, it's definitely tough. I think the best thing I can suggest is getting as many projects out as you can. Like, do not fall into the trap of, if you don't have a lot of experience or you don't have a lot of releases under your belt, don't try and make something that's going to take like 2 to 3 years. It's just way too long. You need to like get up and running as soon as possible. So focus on like short
Yeah.
projects that you can keep pumping out and delivering, and that'll boost your skill set, but also just kind of the reputation behind your studio or what you're capable of, because you can point the real things that exist and be like, hey, this is what we made, this is what we can do. Because if you do anything that's too long or too complex or requires too many people, the likelihood of things fizzling out and grinding to a halt is so high. Like,
Yeah, that's true.
it's tough. And most like indie studios that have funding or seasoned people, like 9 out of 10 of them fail as well. Like there's a lot of survivorship bias in this
Oh
industry
yeah.
where you look at all these titles and you're like, "Oh, well this guy was able to do it on his free time and he made millions." It's like, "Yeah, but there for that guy there was probably like 10 to 100 others that tried it and failed." So you need to be a little realistic,
Yes.
and you need to position yourself that you're not going to walk away with nothing. Um, or at least that you're like, you have like this incremental growth and like things that you can actually show. And it's it is tough. Like my advice is like to keep working away. Ideally try and get into the
Yeah.
industry rather than try and start a studio. I'm lucky that my two co-founders
Yes.
have been in the industry, so they're really skilled and really capable of doing this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But you're better off grinding out a skill set and trying to find some employment so you can get industry experience, and then you can consider like, okay, maybe I'll start a studio once you're like skilled enough. But do not go right out the
Mm-mm-mm.
gate straight into a studio unless you are super confident in your skills or the skills of the people you're starting with. It's so much work. You
Yes.
have to make the game, but then you also have to find funding and you have to do budgeting and you have to like file with the government, like just so much extra stuff. Just don't
The
add that
government
onto your
gets
plate.
involved.
Yeah, it's a lot. Like you need to have a really skilled and competent team. If you're comfortable doing that, don't default
Yes.
to it. You can default to making games, just don't default to trying to start a studio and a business with your friends, because it's a huge commitment. Like I think a lot of the advice is
It is. It is.
starting a business with someone is like getting married to them for however many years. I think it's like 7 or something for like the I forget. But either way, it's like getting
Yeah.
married to someone because you're legally bound in this business. So do not just jump into it with anyone. You need to be
Yeah.
like really, really certain with them. Um, but that doesn't mean you can't make games with them without dealing with all the business bullshit. I would recommend doing
Oh
that.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think it's also it's a unique case because I'm in Ontario. Ontario is very fortunate to have a lot of grants and a lot of funding available
We
from the
are.
government.
Yeah, we've got a
Um,
lot of like pro indie stuff right now.
Yeah, the only downside to it is you need to be incorporated to get access to a lot of those or to be able
Yes.
to even apply. So that's why
Yes.
like we're looking into it as opposed to just not doing a business and just making games. But
That's smart. That's smart.
yeah, it comes down to each person's situation. Like no situation is the same as the other. So do whatever seems right
Yes.
and makes
Yeah.
sense. But ideally,
Yeah.
try and work for someone. Don't try and start a business if you can, at least out the gate. I think that's probably easier.
Yes, starting a business is always harder than it looks. Like it's that same like survivorship bias. It's like yes, these indie studios that pop off look fantastic, but you know, it's very hard to do. I am a very strong believer in don't put yourself into debt. Like
Yeah.
do not do that. Some people
No.
take that risk and you know, again, for the ones you see, it's paid off, but for a lot of people it doesn't. And if you're
Yeah.
not like on a contract, like that can be really, really detrimental. So, you know, always prioritize like your own well-being and stuff before, for sure. Like
Yeah.
you can make projects for fun. There is no bad vibe on making a game with your buddies for fun.
Mm-hmm.
You're allowed to do things as a hobby as well, kind of thing.
Yeah. Definitely second.
Yeah.
Don't put yourself in the debt to try and start a studio or any game stuff.
Yeah.
Do it voluntary on your free time so that you have no, you can like call it quits whenever you want. You can have like your red line to say if this doesn't happen or if I don't achieve this, then that's where I like call it quits. Do not put yourself in a hole and be
Don't
like,
put yourself into debt.
I have to keep trying. I've already spent 20,000. Like don't fucking do that.
99% of gamblers quit right before they make it huge.
So true, so true.
This is my pro gambling section. We're actually
Yeah, play the
that's
ad.
what this is.
We're going for an ad
Yeah,
break.
yeah. Can I get a
Fucking DraftKings
yeah, no,
plays.
yeah. There's like a little steak logo.
Dude. Anyway.
Yeah, seriously, do not go into debt. It is not worth it. We are in a horrible, horrible time financially for a lot of people. But
yeah.
honestly,
I was gonna say at most, like you can say you're paying yourself, like you're putting, I don't know, like $10,000 into this project, but really it's $10,000 you're using to pay yourself. Like you can do stuff like that where
yes.
it's like you're putting actual money, like you're investing it, but really like it's not leaving your pocket. So you can do stuff like that, but don't go spending like,
Mm-hmm.
10, 20,000 on like an artist and a programmer and like a lawyer to get the business started. Like unless you have like a very, very big cushion, I wouldn't recommend that. Not out the gate, at least.
No, no. But I mean, that does bring up a great point of like, I only learned about it very recently because I'm not a marketing person, but like, if you are somebody viewing that is interested in eventually applying for things, sweat equity is a very real thing where you do a bunch of work and then you're like, it's valued at this. And sometimes places will help meet that. So, always a good thing to keep an eye out for.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, make sure we had the same conversation with Amy last time. Like, make sure, especially for volunteer projects, you're not NDA'd. You can make these big posts and share your stuff because that's honestly 99% of the time it's more of a portfolio booster than a revenue booster, in my personal opinion.
Yeah. I'd say when it comes to breaking into the game industry, you can do it for free. You do not need to spend a lot of
Yes.
money to get into this. Like even schooling isn't that relevant as much these days.
No.
Like a lot of places don't care if you have a degree or a bachelor's or whatever. Maybe like some of the AAA, but even that's gonna be like, very rare cases. But
Yeah.
like there's so many
Yeah.
resources online, there's so many like open source tools. Like dedicate your time before you start dedicating your money to something. Like see if it's actually what you want to do and just keep at it to try and break in. Don't try and like think money's going to solve it or there's like a shortcut to it. Because usually
That's
it's
a great way to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and like it sucks, but having to say keep going at it, like it's such a part of this industry of like not a lot of people, like I know a lot of people here know Amir Satvat, like he's done like actual quantitative research on it. Not a lot of people get in right at the start. Degree or no degree. Like it's a tough industry right now. But
Yeah. It's definitely a product of
ways.
Definitely product of its time thing. I think maybe 10 years ago, there were some studios that would actually take in juniors with no experience and then they would work their way up the ladder. It's not a thing anymore just because the times have changed. Tools are so accessible. there's just a lot of competition, and there's a shit ton of layoffs at the same time right now too.
Yeah.
So but hey, nice thing, it's never been easier to release your own game too, though. Like
That's very true.
you don't need to physically make CDs or get a publisher, figure out distribution. You can just open a game engine, make something, and export the build and put it up on itch. Like there's nothing stopping you from pursuing this now, which is nice.
Yeah, that's true. And like we are in a stage where like AAA graphics isn't the goal anymore. Like
Hmm.
I don't know. When you said itch, I'm like immediately reminded of like Buckshot Roulette
Yeah.
was like maybe like 5 or 6 like actual like major environment assets or character assets, and it was huge. It was absolutely massive.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Comes
yeah,
down to
yeah.
just
Definitely
getting
have fun.
really good. Yeah, have fun and focus on getting good at a skill, and then worry about the rest later. Because if you get good at one thing, like you will find work somewhere. It's just a matter of time and making connections, and it's all about being in the right place at the right time with the right skill set. Like that's a majority of finding work in this industry. It's just knowing the right person at the right time. It's like even most of, I think all of my positions have all been through that. Like there's nothing I've really applied to blind and gotten the job. All the work I've gotten has been through knowing someone
Mm.
or like having that connection or having like the right portfolio at that time. It's it sucks because obviously it sucks to have to like rely on
Yeah.
just connections to get shit, but it is the unfortunate truth. But
Yeah.
it also means that once you kind of make those connections, you don't really have to redo it all. It's going to be the same group of people
It's
doing the
true.
same group of work. So you start to just kind of get cycled around those positions, which is nice.
Yeah, I mean, the funniest description of the games industry I've ever received, I think I've said it on here before, is that I had somebody out from Nova Scotia when I was first entering the industry and I was asking her some questions. Describe the industry as like inbreeding because
Yeah.
everybody knows each other from these major studios and they've all like broken off. So it is like like in biology, the little like wolf population that just
Oh yeah.
keeps like staying within its own. So seriously, like meet
Yeah.
people and there's like a 50-50 chance that they know somebody you also know. I
Yeah.
really, really do recommend it.
It's crazy how the term incestuous is just used as a business casual way to describe the industry. Like I've heard it in so many like
Yeah, no,
panels and
genuinely.
talks. Like it's you wouldn't think
Hmm.
that's the case, but it's so normalized in this industry. It's weird, but it's true.
No, it's
It
such
is.
whiplash to hear like somebody in their 40s sitting down at like an actual like B2B event panel and they're like, yes, actually our industry. Have you heard of the royals from England? We're actually
Fucking
just like
crazy.
that. Like that's, I don't know if that's a flex, but maybe
We'll
we
take
all
this.
have. What's that one chin the guy had? The Spanish guy? I can't remember the name of it.
I don't know what you're
Maybe we're all.
referring to.
Maybe we're all an English royal. Yeah.
I'm sure Stone or someone will like post an image.
Yeah.
Habsburg
There
jaw.
it is. I was like, we have neurodivergent people in this server. I know you guys have special interests, and
Oh,
I'm
this.
weaponizing it.
I had to Google
Hasbro.
it.
Yeah. That's what the industry looks like right now, metaphorically.
Fair. Honestly, I can't argue on that. It's so
Yeah.
true.
It started with Ubisoft and EA, and everything else is just a cousin of a
Yeah.
cousin.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Yeah.
it does work though. It makes you exactly. It does mean you like know a lot of people pretty easily. And
Mhm.
the people who don't, like, just talk to them. I know
Yeah.
it sounds a lot easier than it is, but I don't know. Brody and I met literally through just like a meet to match thing with
Yeah.
Stone dropped by too, and we all like chatted and it was a good vibe.
Yeah. All the connections I made at like XP Summit and these networking things, Meet the Match was nice, but like I just look into what the people like do and where they work, and then I just kind of personalize my
Yeah.
reason for wanting to like meet them and chat with them. Like
Yeah.
I'd say like, oh, I see you focus on accessibility in games. Like I do production. I'd love to know how to work that into my like workflow and stuff when tackling it. And just stuff like that for them to be like, oh yeah, I'd love to chat. And then it's just a connection. And every time you see them, you say, hey, how's it going? And then it just kind of keeps going and going. Um,
Yeah.
and it's nice because like a lot of the times on LinkedIn, they'll sometimes send me messages where it's like, hey, I saw this job posting, and like it's a local studio or whatever, and they're like, let me know if you're interested. I'll put in a good word for you. Like
Yeah.
it's a lot of them like doing favors because they know it sucks, they know it's hard, and this is how a lot of them got in the industry. So make
Mm-mm.
connections, the most important thing. Be nice, be super nice and sociable. Don't be an asshole. That's how you get like blacklisted in the
That's
industry
huge.
because again, everyone
That's
knows
massive.
everyone.
Yep.
Um, and yeah, just keep at it, keep working, keep showing your work. Eventually someone will pick it up or find a job for you or you'll figure something out. But
Yeah, I mean, like Brody said too, if you're not ready to like make a full game, demos are great. Like just recently, actually, like I worked. Stacy kind of joined in on it too, like so she can attest. Like we did like a very small like demo idea, and it was like, here's what this would look like if, and that's always a great way to start because you don't want to sink a whole year of your time into something that's not going to profit, for
yeah,
example, or ever get off the ground.
yeah,
So yeah,
it's
you
super
don't
tough.
have to make a massive game.
Yeah, I think a good example too is Sock Pot Collective or Strange Scaffold are who my studio
Mm-hmm.
references as like what we want to try and aspire to be, which is very like
Okay,
short
okay.
time frame projects. Like they do like 3 to 5 months max. They have like a hard deadline. They
Mm.
release whatever they finish with, they move on to the next thing. So it's just constantly
Yeah,
growing,
that's great.
expanding, and not getting stuck in that, oh, we'll just push it off a few more months so we can get these features. And then you keep pushing and pushing and
Yeah.
pushing. Um, so yeah, I think definitely smaller, quicker, and sustainable is a better approach that the industry has to start adopting to anyway. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, that's
so yeah,
true.
and definitely it's hard trying to make these projects when everyone you're working with is also in the same boat as you, where they're like dedicating their
Yeah.
time to try and make them. So don't put all your eggs in one basket in the sense of like, don't have a situation where if they don't finish their work, then you're unable to show yours. Always have that fail
Yes.
safe where you're growing regardless of who's around you, and then the people that end up continually growing with you and actually doing the work and you come comfortable and can do the work with them, then that's fine. But
Yes.
it's really easy to put a lot of work into something and then nothing comes of it because the people you're with just get busy or they don't like dedicate time anymore. So try
Yeah.
to
Yeah, it
avoid,
happens, right?
yeah, try to avoid getting stuck in a corner like that if you can.
Yeah, that's honestly that's great advice. Don't yeah, same it goes back to that, don't sign your NDA. Don't make something that relies on, like you said, somebody to
Hmm.
make that final thing. Like have something in some form that you can show is always huge.
Yeah. Yeah, I found I
Yeah.
had a lot of issue with that when I was starting because I'm in like a producer role where I
Mm-hmm.
couldn't really show anything off until we had like a finished product or a demo or something. And a lot of these
Yeah.
products like grinded to a halt and just never saw the light of day. So I had like a whole year or two where there's just nothing to show for it. I'm like, well, this sucks. So then I went back to school and I was like, I need to learn the skills.
Yeah, I think my first one of my like not my first, but one of my earlier projects, like way back, couple of years now, was like NDA'd, but it was like temp funded. So I was on a contract, and then I don't know if they got the funding afterwards. So it's like everything is in kind of NDA hell. And when you're an artist, you can't show any of it. I'm sure it's production, it's the same kind of
Yeah.
vibe. Like you can't really show anything without showing anything else.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it gets tricky, especially when you're starting because like a lot of the work in progress stuff isn't really worth showing sometimes. At
yeah,
least if like some of your portfolios to a certain level of quality and the work in progress stuff is way below it, it gets
yeah,
tricky because you only want to release stuff that's of like equal or greater quality. So
yes.
it can be tough, especially if it's other people's work or like if it just kind of grinded to a halt but wasn't officially axed. Like I don't know, it's tough. It depends.
Yeah. Dev hell is real. Early
Yeah.
studios get that
There,
constantly.
yeah, there are some people that like work for a job for like 6 to 8 years on a project, and it gets
Oh
canned
my
last
god,
minute,
yeah.
and they never get to show anything from it. So like, it is real. It does happen. Um,
Yeah, I've heard some nasty ones recently.
yeah, I mean the bright side is they were already in the industry, so it's like it could be
Yes,
worse,
yes.
but that still fucking sucks to have 8 years of your life that you can't show except like privately in meetings, when you're interviewing. So
Yeah, which is it's rough. It's rough, totally. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, and we're gonna keep yapping, but if anybody, we are technically in Q&A time, so if anybody has
oh yeah,
questions to answer, please feel free to launch those now. But for the
yeah,
last bit, we'll still talk too. You kind of hit all the
yeah,
we hit most of the questions we chatted about, but do
yeah.
you
Any
have
others?
any like big grant program finding things that you recommend where you're like, ah, this really helped me find funding or find people to work with or anything like that?
Not yet. We haven't really had
Mm-hmm.
to apply for grants so much. Like a lot of the way we've been doing it, because I don't want to write grants right now, is we've been going
Valid.
to people or collectives or like non-for-profits that already do this
Yeah.
grant writing as a part of their like business model, and just kind of giving them a
Mm-hmm.
proposition and then letting them handle the grant writing, because it sounds a lot better when it's coming from them to begin with, because they've already gotten these grants and they're able to make the case and they know how to write it, than us trying to like approach the funders ourselves. So this way it's kind of, we just get tacked on to their already existing request, and then we either get it or we don't, and then we just kind of use the funds they typically get from it for the project. It's been working out
Mm-hmm.
so far. I don't know if it's
No.
sustainable in the long run, but in the short run for the
Well, it's like
early
client. Yeah,
stage,
client marketing.
yeah, it's working. Like that's what we did with the Wagons one, the indigenous
Yeah.
asset viewer one, was we went to them with like a concept. We went to them with I had like a pitch deck to be like, hey, this is like what we're proposing. Here's like how much it would cost. We broke it into like a basic, medium, and like a high like cost category of like features we can include. And then we like
Mm-hmm.
just show what like look like. And they're like, oh, this looks interesting. Can we get like a proof of concept or like a demo? And we'll pay like this much for it. And we're like, okay. So we like tested it, like put it together and like sent them the build, and they're like, oh, this is awesome. Yeah, let's go for it.
Hell
So
yeah.
it's been nice that we haven't had to apply for the grants. We're gonna have to apply for actual funding soon for our IP.
Mm.
Unfortunately, I mean, it's a good thing that we have the opportunity, but it's gonna be a lot of work when it happens.
Pain in the
Um,
butt for sure, but yeah.
yeah, but we've been lucky that we've been avoiding having to do it by tacking our services on top of an already existing grant or funding request, which is good.
I mean, it's a great idea, right? Like
Hmm.
client to client is a huge
Yeah,
kind of way to go about it now,
and
for sure.
sometimes too, when I was pitching them originally too, is I would like look for grants that it could fall under or that they could apply for, and
Mm.
be like, here's what we're proposing. Here's some like good grants that could potentially cover it. I'm sure like I'd include like, I'm sure you know more like of what grant would work because it's more up your alley, but here's like some that show that there is potential money that could pay for this, and then just let them take care of it.
Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, huge. First, oh yeah, and we got a couple questions too.
Ooh.
One is from Stacy saying, I know you said social should be the main focus, but if a small indie studio had to pick a couple platforms to start promoting on other than Discord, do you have any recommendations?
Great question. There's definitely some that perform better than others. TikTok is a huge one. That one does really
Mm.
well. Blue Sky and Twitter, not as much. Still good to have, but they're more for like networking
Yeah.
with other devs, because you can kind of like, you can piggyback off of like their posts, or you can cross post or like whatever. But like the
Mm-hmm.
click through rate, especially on Twitter, abysmal. It's like
Nightmare.
0.02%
There's
or
so many
something.
bots now. Yeah.
Yeah. So like if you were to post like, hey, wishlist my game, here it is, they don't click. Doesn't matter how many followers, they don't click. Um
Yeah.
Unless it's like a really, really viral, like cutesy game, like like that spider one, or like Gator Days, or uh,
Yeah.
Tiny Glade, then it can like get some conversions, but it's usually not reliable. I would just use it for just kind of like weekly updates of like, hey, I'm alive, here's what we're working on, and then that's it.
Yep. Yeah.
TikTok's the big one. Instagram Reels can do good. YouTube Shorts can do good because they same as TikTok. Really comes down. If you're doing TikTok, might as well do those.
Yeah. True.
What are the other ones? I'm trying to remember what other. Oh, Reddit can be good. Reddit
That's a
can do
good point.
well. Yeah, because there's a few subreddits where normally you can't self promo, but like they'll make exceptions. But you can sometimes do like the classic like, I quit my job and I've been making this game for the last 3 years. Here it is,
What
and
do
like they show like a
you
short
think? Yeah.
trailer. Sometimes those can blow up. They can end up on like the front page, and they can like get a lot of good wish lists. Um, but yeah, it ultimately which platform to use comes down to which just performs best when you test them all. Because the strat is to
Yes.
test all of them. Like just do a month of just a giant blast of social posts early on, where you're like showing concept, you're doing like little videos, you're doing GIFs. You're like, here's all the stuff, here's my game, it's like looking really cool. You wait to see if anything goes viral. And if it does on some of them, keep posting to them. If it like does really well, or if it goes viral once, it'll go viral again. So you can kind of just prolong that social media phase, and try and get wishlist that way. And then if it doesn't, if that month is up, nothing goes viral, then at least you have some social media pages that are like filled with content. So when eventually you
That's
show
true.
like
Yeah.
the press or content creators, you're like, hey, here's our game. When they go to do research, they'll like scroll through and they'll be like, oh, okay, it's real. It's not just some AI slop. That can work.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, blast all of them, see what does really good for your game, and then if nothing's really doing well, just pick whichever is your favorite and just exist on that one, and that's it, and just do kind of weekly updates. But definitely TikTok does the best, and I think Reddit can do really well, and then like Twitter, Blue Sky, all those are kind of not really.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, more and more, I'm hearing Reddit actually is a great one to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it can be fickle because fucking Redditors are a different breed. Sometimes you get Reddit mods that have a bit
I've
of
met some of the
a iron
coolest people
fist.
on Reddit, and I've seen some other characters, to
Yeah,
put it
sometimes they're quite the individuals. Sometimes they flip their images of chives and try and pass it off, and everyone goes berserk. Um,
Yeah.
it's an interesting place, but it can do well. The
Yeah.
trick to Reddit is you have to be a Redditor making a game. You can't just be someone making a game using Reddit, because they fucking
That is
hate
true.
outsiders. You need to be one of them, one of the cool kids that's also doing this thing, and they'll be like, "Oh, this is awesome, man." Otherwise,
True.
they'll be like, "Fuck you," and they won't upvote it. They won't get to you the updates. It's weird. They actually, if you do well on Reddit once, you can double dip, where you can do
True.
another post down the line, because Redditors love having their ego stroked. So you can be like, oh, thanks to Reddit, we got 100,000 wish lists or whatever. Or
Yeah.
like we got this many. So you can double dip the engagement and wish list you get on
Yeah.
it by just saying thank you, Reddit. You guys got us so much engagement or whatever. That's
It
a
is
rare
very weird.
case,
Like,
but
it's so community based, right? Like, it's that
yeah.
idea of like, it's great community wise. Like, I met
Mhm.
like a couple people that I did end up making like game work with, but like that
Yeah.
required a lot of vetting because at the same time, there is that very like community driven in group as
Yeah.
well. So you got to be
Exactly.
careful, but
And it's
yeah.
also like they have a Reddit or like a site-wide rule where you can only do like one
Yes.
self-promo post per like 10 regular posts. So you actually have to use
Yeah.
Reddit, and you have to do like different subreddits. You have to post pictures of your plants or your cats or fucking whatever, so you can
Am
make
I
that
the
one post.
asshole if I quit my job and made a video game?
Wait, that would be
No,
so
truly.
good. Guys, my wife's
New
really
strategy
upset.
just dropped.
I sunk all our savings into this city builder I'm making. What do you think?
Petty
That would,
revenge. I drove myself into debt.
that would be so good. But anyway, yeah, so that's socials and how to deal with those. Were there any other questions?
There
Conference
is.
cons.
One is there's a lot of emphasis on going to conferences and cons and networking, like that kind of in-person vibe. What are your recommendations for people who can't attend these kind of conferences?
That's a good one. I'm trying to think now. There's definitely online communities that are still good for growth and meeting people. It's a little tougher with trying to meet people that are in the industry, um, because they're busy. They don't typically hang around these like open to use like free Discord communities of like people trying to break in. They just don't got the
Yep.
time for that. They're busy trying to network with publishers and other devs and all that.
Yeah.
Trying to think. I don't know. I think the like next best thing then would be having referrals from people you know that are already in the industry if you can. Like if you know someone from like this Discord like me or Babs. And you're like, "Hey,
Yeah.
I'm trying to like find someone that knows or that like hires for 2D concept art or something, or like does 2D
Mm-hmm.
concept art so I can ask some questions about my portfolio." Then we could refer you to that person and make that connection for you to be like, hey, this person's like looking for whatever, sending them your way. The
Yeah.
only other way other than that is just kind of like cold emailing or like doing a LinkedIn. LinkedIn doesn't work too much from my experience. Emails aren't bad, but doing like cold messages to be like, hey, I really like your art. I'm a 2D art student trying to break into the industry. Like if you have the time, I would love to get some feedback on my portfolio or like
Yeah.
just general advice. Stuff like that can work. It goes better when you have someone to break the ice for you, but when you don't have that, you kind of got to do the best you can with what you got. Um, yeah, honestly, the same goes for these kind of person to person networking things too. Like
Honestly, yeah.
this MIGS one me and Babs went to, I didn't really meet
Mm-hmm.
too many new people I hadn't met before because I didn't have access
Yeah.
to that like the meet the match software. Like so I didn't know who was going, I had
All
no way to
right.
break the
Right.
ice. So a lot of it was me introducing my friend to people that I already knew, and then vice versa. The few people that she knew, I was introduced to them. And it was really just through those mutual connections is where a lot of it happens. Um,
Oh yeah. Like I met the friend like Chanel the first time
yeah.
at Migs, and like that was just because like I knew Brody and Brody knew
Mhm.
this person, and like that's how you do it, really. Like he
Yeah.
said, like we're new to the industry, but like building each other up at this level is such an important thing. So like please don't be afraid to ask questions, contact us, etc., etc.
Yeah. It's tough if
Right.
you only do it online because there's so many people
Mm,
online and devs are busy and they get flooded. Um,
yeah.
so do what you can, but I definitely advise finding like free mixers or events going on local if they happen to. I know you can't do it for everywhere or everyone. Um,
Mm.
but keep an ear to the floor, see what's happening, and potentially just find online communities that might be more geared towards that or making those bridges. I don't know. It's
I mean,
tough.
online events are bigger and bigger now post COVID.
Hmm.
Like join them. Like this one is obviously like on a smaller scale, but there is a lot of like location specific, even if you can't attend, like dev talks, drink and game jam or blah blah blah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Sandwiches.
Sorry,
How
I'm
many Subway
sifting
sandwiches
through.
do you think you could eat in a 1 hour
Yeah, I
period?
was gonna ask. Assuming that your games funding was on the line.
Ooh. Are they full footlongs or are they like what's the
Let's say footlongs. Yeah.
footlong sounds fair.
Your choice of toppings though.
Oh, you know what? I could crush like maybe wait, how many is it? What's the fucking how
I think
many
if I
in one
haven't had
hour?
Subway in a month and you're getting that weird Subway craving, I think I could do 3.
I was gonna say like three, maybe four, and I would just do pizza subs because it's literally like no topping and just fucking sauce. You're just eating bread at that point.
Ew.
Yeah, that's gonna be important to know for getting to the game industry, so keep that in mind.
Yeah,
Um,
you can throw up after.
uh, any opinions on the new Baja Blast Pie by Taco Bell? Hate Taco Bell. Don't like their marketing. They deserve to get
Oh.
sued. I hope they fix their shit.
Oh, didn't know they were getting sued.
They're getting sued for false advertising because the pictures
Well.
of the food never match what they give you.
Well,
And they have it
yeah.
coming. They have it coming. The Crunch Wrap?
Yeah, it kind of looks
So
like
sad.
dog food, but who's to say?
An actual cue.
Have I had? Yeah, I think Stacey asked like a legitimate question.
In your opinion, what helps an indie game really stand out on its Steam page? Are there certain things you would look for, like strong art direction, lots of gameplay footage, etc.? I can't attend too many in-person conventions. Oh, that's something else. Okay. What helps an indie game really stand out on its Steam page? So, actually, there is a free resource by howtomarketagame.com that goes over making your Steam page and like what he recommends. I know from what I can remember, strong capsule art. Actually pay someone to do like the art of like the fucking banner of the game or whatever, because that is what's going to be because that's going to be seen on like the front page of Steam if it ever gets there or when people are searching. So you want to have an actual like professionally made good one of those, or at least like have one where it's like it has the elements and then you can kind of rearrange them and try different things as you go. Keywords are important, like having strong like the tags, because people will use those to try and find games they like, and different tags perform differently. You can go on, I forget if it's Steam Stats or Steam DB. I think it's the stats one.
Yeah, it's like the analytics thing.
Yeah, you can use that and you can actually look at how different tags perform, like how many games are on Steam that have that tag, what the median revenue they made was, because some do better than others. Like puzzle games do piss poor on average, but Shopkeeper Simulator or 4X do pretty well. They actually make a lot more. So finding the right tags can like help people really like that are trying to find your kind of game a lot easier. So tags is important. GIFs and like actual like ISPs or in USPs, unique selling points, USPs.
Mm-hmm.
Having that listed in like the little drop down thing at the bottom, and like actual like GIFs and visuals of like the game, so it shows like people playing and it shows like the main mechanic and the hook and all that. And then beyond that, it's really like just having a concise, strong description, a little bit of lore, straight to the gameplay mechanic, try and hook them in, all that. And then just trying different capsules over time. So like you never know what's gonna like catch people's attention and make them click on your game, because just like making a social media post, you don't know what's gonna blow up, you don't know what's gonna have the magic. But what you can do is when you got nothing going on, like you're not doing events or you're not doing any like huge social posts or whatever, and like your wish lists are kind of like steady, just fucking change it up every week. See if you get a boost.
Yeah.
If like you change it up and you notice there's a shit ton more wish lists, you're like, I guess this wish list does better. And then you can try a different one and you can see how that performs. Because it might be, having the character on there might make a big difference, or having a different character on there might do a lot better, or having no character and having like one of the vehicles. Like you never know. So experimenting with that can help.
For sure.
Yeah. But anyway, there's How to Market a Game has a free whole like class on setting up the Steam page and like things to look for and like how to do it properly. So I recommend that, because that guy's been in the industry for a long time. He's dealt with Steam a lot. It's a good starting place to like at least start understanding things to consider, and then you can customize your workflow to what you think works, what you think doesn't, yada yada. Yeah, that's what I recommend with that.
Yeah, I mean those are great points for sure. It's a weird beast. Similarly, if you're in more of the UI design, there are like a million templates on Reddit, on Figma, on Canva that you can use to like size your capsules and stuff, and that's what I've done in the past. So like I totally recommend like finding, like everybody posts their stuff for free because everybody knows the industry is like a dumpster fire right now. So take advantage of it.
Yeah. I'll say a lot of marketing is really just trying things out and then just checking the statistics to see if it's doing well or if it's not. It sucks. I hate I hate having to like go through the numbers and like try and like match it up. It's boring. It's not interesting. We just want to create cool shit. But that's really what it comes down to. Same for games. Same for most like marketing kind of jobs or industries. It's just checking the numbers. But you know, who knows what's gonna work? And end of the day, the marketing only does so much for your Steam game. It's gonna come down to the quality of the game. So like the marketing helps, but like don't get too caught up on it.
Oh yeah, that's why I like catch Stacy at like 3 a.m. and I just let her go feral on whatever social media she can get her hands on, like
True.
at that point in time. I'm like, just go for it. And you know what? It's worked. So
Yeah.
sometimes you just have to have fun with it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got another one from Stacy. Any additional advice you would give to a junior marketer who wants to get into indie games? Ooh, that's a tough one. It's a tough one because it's like it's already hard finding a job. So it's like you need something to market to try and get good at marketing. I would say if you're trying to get into indie games as a junior marketer, I think a good place to start, at least with what I'm doing, is that How to Market Games Masterclass. I've found has been very insightful because it's talking about the Steam algorithm and things to consider when marketing a game that I've never even considered or would know of. Like people may argue one thing or the other because it comes down to preference and nothing's like an exact science. But I think for a junior trying to break in, I think it's a good way to start looking at games and having a foundation to then build off of. Especially with like, you know, how to approach social media for games, how to monitor wish lists, and what like the thresholds are you should be trying to reach so that the game actually can take off. I think that's where I would start, and then if you can, potentially try and find some of those like I don't want to say volunteer studios, but you know, just kind of like projects where people are working for like free, like they're all just kind of donating their time to make something, or like someone that's already like gotten a good portion of the work done, but it's like kind of just them and be like, hey, I'd be willing to like do the marketing for this, whether you want to do it for free or try and negotiate and leave it up to you. Because I think there's plenty of developers that aren't doing marketing because they don't have the time or the know-how. They're making the game, and they have no reason to say no to someone being like, hey, I can do your socials for you if you'd like, because I just want experience for it, because otherwise they're just not going to have socials. And if you have like the understanding to back it up, to be like, you know, I understand how to market it, I understand how Steam works, so if you let me use your project as a way to try and like test these theories, like put them into practice, they might go ahead with it. I said that's one way to try it, but no guarantee. It's tough. It's it sucks. I mean, like marketing again. I've only gotten into it from connections and just like already knowing people, like from working at like a marketing agency to my marketing job now at both the retailer and the indie game that's coming out. Like it's all just been connections and like having the skill set prior. Um, so yeah, just keep working away at it. Understand, just try to expand your like knowledge base and look for those opportunities and like take your shot whenever you can.
Yeah.
But as long as you're growing and you're putting in the effort to try and understand and grow and like perfect your craft, something will land eventually. It's just a matter of like, you know, being ready and at the right time. Most of it.
Yeah. That's a very optimistic, way to
I try to
put
be.
it. I think is a very good. Yeah. Stay
The nice thing with
optimistic, folks. It does get better.
the nice thing with social is it's fucking it's free. You know, like social
True.
media planners, there's tons of free options. Using social media itself is free. There's tons of open source software if you want to try and make trailers or like any in-engine like game captures. Like all the tools to succeed are there and pretty like free to use. You just got to get good with them and then showcase you can use them and then just kind of approach the right person at the right time to be like, hey, let me market your game. Let me try and maximize your wish list so you can succeed. And they'll probably be like, hell yeah, brother. take a stab. I wasn't gonna do it anyway, and I can't afford a marketer to begin with, so you go right ahead.
Yeah.
So
In a way, yeah, you can like take advantage for like those volunteer things where it's like they don't have the money to pay you. So there's no necessarily like a quality thing. Like if you
yeah,
have like a lot of people have imposter syndrome in this industry, which is a nightmare, where it's like you can have the belief that you're not good, but like you are. But there's like
yeah.
this, it removes that kind of fake barrier that you've created in a way, which
Mm-hmm.
I loved when I first got into the industry.
Yeah. I think the nice thing about marketing too, after watching a few of Victoria Tran's talks, who does the
Mm,
marketing for Among Us and then a shit ton of stuff after, a lot of
yes.
her
Yeah.
talks focus around that she has made many, many, many mistakes. And marketing is all about making mistakes and then just kind of learning from them and growing. And that's just kind of a lot of this industry. So if you're not failing, you're not learning. So take risks, uh, you know, do the best you can and learn, grow, do better next time.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly. And I think that's a great spot to like kind of end it where it's like failing is part of it, especially in marketing and anything where you have to cold call somebody. Like you
Yeah.
will get declined. Absolutely. The amount of emails I've had declined on me is crazy.
Yeah.
But you only have to succeed once, right? Like
Honestly, yeah. That
be the
is
surviving
so
plane.
true. So fucking true. Cool.
Let's go. But
Let's
thank you so
go.
much for joining us, Rody. It was a really cool talk. Like I don't think we've had like a marketer on yet, or like
Mm.
a specifically a marketer. So it was really cool to hear about that
Yeah.
and in like studio stuff. So super
It's tough when
appreciate it.
there's so many things I could talk about in such a short amount of time because I could talk
I
about
know.
schooling or being a producer or starting a studio or being a marketer. I could talk all about those for like a full hour. But
Yeah.
hopefully, give it a bit of time. Hopefully, if we've actually pitched for some projects or gotten an IP off the ground, and then have me back on and I'll talk about,
Yes.
uh,
Please come
here
back.
and
Like especially.
yeah, then and now about starting a studio and I might change my perceptions on things and be like, you know what, this shit sucks, don't do it. Or it might be, this is amazing.
It's just like an obituary rules. It's like, we actually lost him in the year. But
Yeah,
but no,
actually,
like
no.
seriously, yeah, come back on like post features forward, right? Like I'm sure we'll be at like a massive switch
Yeah, well, that'll be done
in
in like,
vibes.
I think that'll be done in like 3 more weeks. Like we're kind of like halfway
Okay, I
through right
actually
now.
lied. Don't come back that early.
Actually, don't come back ever. Thanks.
Actually, we don't want you. I've changed my mind. But yeah, no, for sure, come back. And yeah, if for folks that are, because most folks that join in these are pretty consistent. Brady is very active in entry level. Ping him, bother him, find his social security number. That's none of my business.
Mm.
Um,
Social
yeah,
security number. It's a sin here in Canada, not
it's a
SSN.
social insurance number.
I don't even think you're from Western. I don't think you're from here.
Wait a minute.
Fucking imposter. Yeah,
There we
any
go. This is why we're
questions,
the bottom line.
feel free to DM me or ping me in the Discord. Always happy to share whatever I've learned or try and give some input. I'm chock full of advice and I love to give it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and then wishing the best of luck to everyone here, everyone watching. Hopefully that you find something in the industry or your craft goes well. We've all been there. It sucks to learn. It sucks to try and find a job and get a sea of fucking rejection letters, but keep at it.
Yeah.
Everyone's going through it. Eventually something will land. You just need to persevere and survive. That is the name of the game in this industry. It's just survive. And then once you do that, you're
Truly.
golden.
Truly. Truly.
Yeah.
Everything sucks until it doesn't. So we're manifesting that it doesn't suck soon.
Yep. You will go from having no job to having 3 jobs at the same time like I do right now. Things happen on a
Honestly.
dime.
And it can happen in like a week. It's wild.
Yeah. it is nuts how fast things can change. So just keep at it, keep trying, keep dipping your feet in the water, and something will bite.
Yeah, no, honestly. And while I have you for folks, again, he's very visible on entry level. He is also very active in the sense of like LinkedIn available.
I'm all over.
So if you know him more personally, like please add him there. Check out Glowbox Studios. Again, they've done some really cool stuff and they're doing a lot of cool stuff currently. So please feel free to follow their LinkedIn and all of that jazz.
I will post.
And yeah,
I will post more about that stuff soon because we just wrapped up our first contract. Second one's in the works.
exciting.
We got IP coming. Some of the art tests are looking pretty fire.
Hell
I'll
yeah.
be the one posting it, so hopefully I get on that soon. I am very busy, but I'll be trying.
Yeah. Yeah, and happy 27th, man. Enjoy it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm going to relax for the rest of the Actually, no, I have a meeting I gotta go to after this. Actually, I will not be relaxing. I'll be working.
That's crazy.
I
8:30
see my
meeting is diabolical.
I see my co-founders in the Glowbox chat because we have homework due in like the next couple of days for Futures Forward, so I gotta go do that.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, then we will let you escape safely. But
thank you.
Happy birthday. Thank you everyone for joining, and I think we're gonna cut it there.
Cool.
Take care, everybody.
Right.
Good night.
Thank you,
See
everyone.
ya.
Bye.